What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing great. And let's start with our first story, titled, I'm so happy that my ex-wife is miserable. 3 years ago, I, 48 male, found out my wife, 46 female, was having an affair. She met a guy at work and came home one day telling me she was in love with him, no longer loved me and wanted a divorce. This was a guy she'd only known for 3 months at the time. She and I had been together since we were in our 20s. We have 3 kids, 28 male, 26 male, and 23 female. Well, I tried to fight for my marriage and didn't want a divorce, but she simply would not stop seeing this guy. After one weekend where she disappeared from Friday afternoon to Sunday night, I ended up throwing her out of the house. She immediately moved in with this guy. The only excuse she ever gave me was, I never wanted to hurt you, but there's just something about this guy. And I deserve to be happy. That was it. That was the depth of her reasoning for throwing everything we built together away. We ended up finalizing our divorce in early 2022. Although I had very hard feelings toward her, I faked it enough to get pretty favorable divorce terms from her. It seemed she was so eager to be with her dream man that she didn't have time for a long divorce. So in the end, I got to keep my pension and the house, which I had bought for my grandmother. I did have to give her half of my 401k, however. The effect on our kids was pretty devastating. All three of them took it very hard. My oldest son told her that if she chose this man, he'd never have a relationship with her again. As of right now, neither of our sons has a relationship with their mother. Our daughter does talk to her from time to time, but their relationship is very strained to say the least. My daughter is a very kind person, and she tries, but she usually ends her conversations with her mother even more upset than when they started. About 4 months after the divorce, my ex contacted me out of the blue. She told me she had made a terrible mistake and asked if she could come home. Her dream man turned out to be an alcoholic who she says is verbally abusive and wasted all of her money. I used this opportunity to tell her exactly what I thought of her as a person, a wife, and a mother. I told her this was her life now and to deal with it. I told her she no longer had a home at this house and to never contact me again. Then a few things happened over the last year that have driven her to start trying to contact me again. First off, I met someone. My sister introduced me to a friend of hers who is also divorced, and she and I hit it off. We've been seeing each other since last summer, and while we've agreed that neither of us wants to get married again, we are together. Once my ex heard about this, she once again tried to contact me, but I ignored her. My son also got married and didn't invite his mother. She again contacted me to try to get me to intervene on her behalf. I told her I would talk to him, but I never did. Secretly, I feel like she deserves all the pain she's feeling when it comes to our kids. She destroyed our family without so much as an afterthought. Too bad, so sad. Now she recently told our daughter that she finally broke it off with the dream man because she could not handle his drinking and total lack of responsibility. He wasted her half of the 401k that I had to give her. He also totaled her car driving drunk. This from a man in his 40s. Again, she knew this guy for 3 months and torpedoed our whole family for him. On the face of it, I act like I feel sorry for her, but inside I really delight in the fact that she's so unhappy. Call me evil or whatever, I don't care. She brought this on herself and it serves her right. I actually had to sit there one Saturday night while she got ready for a date with this guy and laughed on the phone with her friend about how awkward our living situation was. I lived in hell for over a year because of her. Wait until she finds out our son and his wife are going to have a baby later this year. Maybe if she had been able to keep her legs closed, she'd get to meet her grandchild. Enjoy your crappy one-bedroom apartment and your broken-down used car. Me and my new partner will think of you when we're on vacation in Hawaii this summer. Hawaii was the trip my ex and I always planned to take once our daughter finished college. Maybe I'll send her pictures. TLDR. My ex cheated on me and now she's miserable and I'm overjoyed. She made her bed, now she can lie in it. The best revenge is living a good life. And let's dive into our next story titled, Am I wrong for dating a woman my ex-wife accused me of cheating with while we were still married after I divorced her for cheating on me? Title may be confusing, so let me explain. I have never cheated in my life. I think it is one of the most vile and disgusting things you can do to a person. However, my ex-wife cheated on me consistently. I took her back each and every time because we had 2 kids together and I believed she would change. I know, I am a dumbass. Moving on 3 years ago while we were still married, I worked beside this woman named Kay. We were only work friends, never flirted, never even added each other on social media. I only interacted with her at work, and that was it. One of the times my ex-wife was cheating, she accused me of cheating on her with Kay. I didn't know my ex was cheating at the time, so I thought it was coming out of left field and didn't make any sense. But she swore up and down that me and Kay had a thing together. We did not, and of course my ex was accusing me because she was the one cheating and not me. However, I am a funny individual and can make almost anyone I meet laugh. I have always been that way. My ex-wife would claim that anytime I made a woman laugh, then I was flirting. After all, that is how me and her started talking, was because I could make her laugh. But again, that is just who I am, and don't consider it flirting. And was even surprised when my ex-wife showed interest because I was just being myself. Anyways, fast forward 3 years, and I finally grew some balls and threw my cheating wife out, and we are in the final stages of divorce. Just have a stupid 2-month waiting period, and then freedom. The other night, Kay popped up on my Facebook's People You May Know section, so I added her, and that brought back the memory of the fight I had with my ex-wife. I said screw it, shot her a message, and sure enough, 3 years ago, Kay had a crush on me, but never acted on it because I was married. Kay is now single, I am now single, so we're going on a date this weekend. My ex-wife is flipping her freaking lid going batshit and saying that I was cheating on her too, that I am a hypocrite and she knew I was cheating back then, and I am too big of a wimp to admit it because I want to still look like the good guy who was so mistreated. Again, I never cheated. But am I wrong for going out with Kay? No. But you were wrong for taking your ex back when she cheated repeatedly. As for Kay, your ex doesn't get a say in who you date now. Go out with whoever you want. And now to the update. Some of you all wanted an update after I went on the date with Kay, so here goes. I actually just got home from the date about an hour ago, and it was magical to say the least. We went and got some food at a local Mexican restaurant and just sat there, talking for probably 2 hours about any and everything. We went for a walk at one of our town's local events afterwards, and we didn't even have a path where we were going because we were just talking the entire time and getting lost in real life and in conversation. I didn't want to take her home afterwards, so I used the lame excuse to get ice cream and something. We sat there just talking and learning about each other. We were connecting on so many things, and my ex-wife never talked to me like Kay did tonight. Even when me and my ex-wife started dating, we never did this. I went to take Kay home, and again she just sat in my truck as we were parked in her driveway and just talked again for what felt like forever. I finally had to tell her that she needed to go inside because she was getting sleepy, so I walked her to her door, and I was being a gentleman because I didn't want to take advantage of a woman who was exhausted, so I just told her I had a great time, and I hope she did too. I went to head back to my truck, and she stopped me, pulled me in, and kissed me for what felt like forever. It was one hell of a kiss. I left afterwards, and I had a text from her before I made it home wondering when our next date was. I understand why my ex-wife was jealous 3 years ago because there is definitely something between us. Something I was blind to because I was married, but I should have left my cheating ex-wife sooner. Oh well, it seems like me and Kay are together now, so that's all that matters. Thank you all for your kind words. Kudos to you, man. You deserve this. There was this one interesting comment from a user. My first husband accused me of cheating on him with a friend for half our marriage. I decided to date the friend after my divorce since he was so perfect for me, according to my ex. He was right. Me and the friend have been married for 10 years. I guess my ex was right about something. So good luck to you. And next, the third story, titled, I, 26 female, terribly regret breaking up with my boyfriend, 26 male. To give some background, we had dated for over 7 years, since we were 19. I really loved him and connected with him. I always wanted to have children with him, and so did he. I guess this relationship really started to break down when I got a better, higher-paying job opportunity in a bigger city. He relocated with me, and we loved each other. I guess this new workplace really changed my view on the general lifestyle. I started telling my boyfriend he should probably try getting a higher-paying job. So he did. He made decent money too, but I was still making much more than him. And to have kids in this city, it would take a good income. I feel horrible to say this, but my attraction to my boyfriend really started disappearing. When I started seeing all these successful guys wearing suits in my workplace, I kind of just got jealous. But not jealous in which I wanted to leave my boyfriend and be in a relationship with them, but rather I wanted my boyfriend to be like them. He still did his best. When I was having a bad day, he would hug me, kiss me, cuddle me, he cooked for me, cleaned the house, and he still worked too. Last week, I gave him the ultimatum that what he was doing wasn't enough. He needed to get a higher paying job. I then told him I wanted to have kids, and he's a funny guy and tried to make some jokes. But then I told him it was best if we broke up and he was about to cry. He excused himself and went to the washroom. I didn't give him a choice. I told him I was done. I hate myself for it. We held each other tightly the night before he was leaving. Usually I sleep on his chest, but I took his head and placed it on my chest. I hugged him tightly that night. I saw him cry when he was packing his things up. Before he left, we both hugged and held each other. He thanked me and I thanked him. The moment he left, I just sat on my sofa all night. I don't know how a 8-year-long relationship just ended like that. Some of his friends started messaging me on Instagram what happened and why his phone number was no longer working. I tried calling him, but his number wouldn't connect. I checked our mobile account and he had disconnected the line. So I cried because I didn't know where he was, and it was cold weather out there. All of this before Christmas, too. Luckily, his FaceTime was working, and he told me he had to switch carriers and numbers. We FaceTimed almost every day before bed just talking. He always made me laugh. But when it ended, I would go cry in my bed. I asked him yesterday where he was, and he told me he was signing up for the Marines boot camp, and the recruiter had told him he would most likely be spending the next 2 years in Japan. I immediately bursted into tears and I told him the FaceTime was glitching. But in reality, I had to end it because I couldn't stop crying. After a few minutes, FaceTimed again and we just talked. He asked me if I found anybody yet. He told me he knows I will be a good mom and made funny jokes, which made me laugh. I miss him so much I can't live without him. He's my baby. I miss having him sleep next to me in bed. I get scared so easily now in the dark. I miss having our hands around each other. When I go grocery shopping, I miss having him by my side. I don't want to go to work. I miss him so much. I don't want kids anymore. I just want him. I didn't realize how much I needed him until I stayed a week without him. I miss him. Why are you crying? Isn't this what you wanted? Now you can find someone rich. And that's it for today. Dear viewers, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.